Hello and welcome back to Through the Lens, where each month I share tips on mastering product photography, all from your iPhone. Without further ado, let's hop into episode 5. This month we're going to be talking all about editing. You may not realize it, but editing is a super important part of a photographer's process. Today I'm going to be going over 2 different ways that I think would be best for a beginner editor to start editing their photos. The first way that you can edit your photos, which is super simple, is just directly from the iPhone camera app. All you have to do is open up the photo you want to edit, hit edit in the top of the screen, and you will see all of the editing tools pop up at the bottom of your screen. There is a button you can press to auto edit the photo, but I would suggest steering clear from that because it doesn't always edit it the way you want, and you have a lot more control over how the photo looks if you manually edit the photo. Without diving too deep into it, I'm going to go over a few simple things you can try out the next time you are editing your photos. The first thing that I always like to adjust is the exposure. You want to brighten up your photo as much as you can without blowing out the whites. And that just means the white parts of your photo, you don't want those to get super bright where they don't look white anymore and they look like they're glowing. We don't want that. Another thing I like to do is brighten up the shadows a bit, and sometimes I will brighten up the highlights as well if needed. Sometimes I'll bring down the highlights depending on what the photo needs. I like to play with the brightness, and then I also like to play with the vibrance as well. If the photo's looking a little dull, you can add a vibrance to kind of make the colors pop. Honestly, it's really just playing around with the different tools and the different sliders and figuring out what looks best for the photo that you're editing. As you can see, I just did a super quick edit on this photo, and just making those simple adjustments made a huge difference on the image. It looks crisp, clean, and bright. If you are looking to go one step further than your camera app to edit photos, I would recommend you try out the app Adobe Lightroom. There is a free version of Lightroom called Lightroom Mobile that you can download from the App Store, and from there you're able to upload your photos and edit them on that app. The full version of Lightroom is a desktop app and is available through Adobe subscription, so if you're looking to go even further one day with your editing and photography, you can look into getting the Lightroom subscription through Adobe. The Lightroom mobile app is great because you can organize your photos into folders and keep everything nice and organized while you do your editing. When you begin to edit your photo in Lightroom, I would recommend sticking to the Light tab to begin with. This is where you will find a lot of the tools that you will see in the camera app: exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, etc. I would once again just suggest playing around with these sliders, seeing what they do to your image. I always like to bring up exposure, like I said, shadows, highlights, just kind of play around with it and see what looks best. There are a ton of different tools in Lightroom that you can look through, like the color tab, which allows you to adjust the coloring of the image. You can also sharpen, and you can even blur the background. When you're happy with your image on Lightroom, all you have to do is export it from the app and it is all set to go. Like I've been saying, the best way to really learn how to edit a photo is to just practice and play around with the sliders and just see how you like the image to look. Editing is your own style as well, so there's not really one right way to do it, so it's kind of personal preference. Get creative and see how you like your photos to look. I really hope that these 2 tools, editing right in the camera app and downloading Lightroom mobile and using that to edit your photos, helps the next time you guys are looking through the lens. I will see you next month. Thank you so much for watching.